today's topic, creating a vibrant work culture that does 6 things I'm going to suggest. 1, attracts and retains the right kind of people for your organization. Number 2, a work culture that enriches the lives of the people that work there. Number 3, a work culture that creates a high level of engagement. And I want to talk in a bit of detail this morning about the word engagement. But a high level of engagement as verified by the employees. Not verified by me, but verified by them. Where the employees make a statement about how engaged they feel or not and why. A vibrant work culture that guides minute-to-minute decision-making in a world that has to function in a decentralized way. You think about the people in your organization and all the decisions and choices they make in a day and how you guide those. And I was thinking a bit about that, and it was somewhat overwhelming. So we have 400 people on the retail side of our business in the course of a year. Just on the retail side, we have 1 million transactions. The things we sell, the transactions are somewhat complicated. And then on the manufacturing side in our mills, we produce 8,500,000 boards a year. If you put them end to end, they'd actually go 2/3 of the way around the earth, just to put it into context. And every one of those boards counts. We sell those boards one at a time. So a culture that would guide, and I don't make any of those boards. And last year, I actually didn't handle one of the 1 million transactions. I don't handle those boards, and I don't handle those customers. It's the people who are on the team that do. So how we're going to do and how we're going to be perceived is completely in their hands. I tell our people that, in my view, if you're paying attention, to be the president of an organization is the most humbling feeling in the world. Because the first thing you realize is you aren't really in charge of anything, except trying to create the right culture that would attract the right people, that will make the right decisions, that will provide the right experiences for customers, that will produce the proper result for the organization. So it's really, if you're the CEO, it's about, well, it's not the only thing, but it is one of the most important things in my view that you can work on and have the responsibility to work on. So we want a vibrant work culture that does all those things, and then to make it just even more fun or challenging in the world we live in today, that work culture needs to function in the toughest of market conditions. This market, how you perform, it can make a big difference. And this market, we feel, is going to be about accuracy, it's going to be about efficiency, it's going to be about productivity gains, it's going to be about providing true wow customer experiences, and it's going to be about really smart selling. And there aren't going to be any shortcuts. It's going to take operational excellence on a transaction by transaction basis, on a board by board basis. And the people who are going to do that work are going to have everything to do with the performance of the organization. So how you approach things has a lot to do with what the outcome is going to be. And to me, when you think about a business on the simplest level, there are 3 C's, letter C, that I think about: cause, capital, and the creation of value. But the first one is cause, which is why are we even here? Why are we doing this? What's the purpose of our work? Why is it meaningful? Why is it important? Why does it matter? Why is it exciting? What's the cause here? Right down to the individual level. For each person in that organization, why does your job matter? How's the saying go? There are no unimportant jobs. There are only people that feel unimportant in their job. And I talk about that a lot too. Every job in our organization is really important, or we wouldn't have it. Your job, no matter who you are in our organization, is really important. And one thing I say to everybody at Hancock that I feel like they can relate to is think about it, because you know your job very well. Imagine the impact of someone doing your job extremely poorly. Would that be a problem? And everybody's like, yeah, that would be a big problem. And then imagine the power of someone doing your job unbelievably well. And think about the difference between doing that job unbelievably poorly and doing that job unbelievably well. And that's how important you are in your job. So when we talk about the brand of the company, we feel like ultimately that brand is in what our people do. So we can have slogans, we can have commercials, we can have posters, we can have email blasts, but ultimately the brand of the company is going to end up being what the people do. Which is why one of my other favorite and most common phrases that I talk a lot about in this context is our employees don't work for Hancock Lumber, they are Hancock Lumber. You may have run into this in your travels, but a common experience I'll run into is I spend a lot of time out with our people, and someone in the company will come up to me and they'll say, hey, Kevin, I have an idea, which is great. The company should ... do this, do that, fix this, fix that. And one of the games I'm always tempted to play when people say that to me is, yeah, that's a great idea. I happen to have a little bit of time. Do you have a little bit of time? Let's go tell the company. I'll follow you. Lead me. Where are we going? And I just say that because I want people to understand that in most cases they are the company. And in most cases they actually don't need me to address the topic that they've just seen. They can play a big role in addressing it themselves. And I've told everybody at Hancock this, face to face, our employees. I said, you actually inspire me. So when I listen to our people, it makes me want to improve, to grow, to be sharper, to be more effective. We have a long list of things that we need to improve on, including with respect to our work culture. But there's a foundation there that we feel like we can work with and we can be successful with, and is a real blessing for our organization. When I look at an organization, I see people. I wasn't trained to do this, or it's not anything I was even aware of without some experience and reflection, but when I look at an organization, I don't see equipment, I don't see inventory, I don't see trucks, I don't see buildings, I see people. And when I look at people, I don't see truck drivers, I see people. I don't see forklift operators, I see people. I don't see sales staff, I see people. Truck driver is the role a person plays. And I see people as people, and I'm interested in people as people. And I think we have a culture of that helps create the mood. And then the second part of that is I always, it's just how I'm wired, I always see the good in people. Like, you have to really, really prove the other side for me, because what I see is the good in people. And I've found actually that the more you see the good in people and the more you treat them as people, actually the higher the bar can be for what you can expect in return for performance. One of the single biggest impacts on an employee's experience is his or her immediate supervisor, which makes sense. So that person might see me once a week, once a month, whatever, but they see that supervisor every day, all day, and that supervisor has a really big impact on engagement. So if you come to our main office in Casco, which when I was a kid was the entire company, it was the office where my grandmother and my aunt and everyone that worked there was related, and everything was, and they did the statements and the invoices by hand, and it was the little retail store, and it was the mill, it was the entire company. I can actually remember when it was the entire company. But if you come to my office and you go through the front door. I invite all our employees to do this. If you're at the office, go through the front door, go up the stairs, bank a left, go to the end of the hall, you'll find yourself at my office, and pretend I'm not there. And I say to people, so you go in, you're like, oh, this must be Kevin's office. And I'm not there, and you're feeling good about yourself, so you nestle down in my chair. And you're feeling even better about yourself, so the chair pivots back so you can do that stereotypical thing, right, that presidents do all day, right? They must, as you put your feet up on your desk. And your hands are like this, okay? So this is like a truck driver or whoever it is on our team. And then around the corner I come, and there you are caught in my seat with your feet on my desk. But I say, here's the deal. You get to do that. You can sit in my chair. You can put your feet on my desk. You don't even need to dust them off. And you can kick back. In exchange, I get to sit on the other side of your desk, and I get to ask you a series of questions. That's the deal, okay? So here it is. With your seat in that chair and your feet on that desk, at that moment, you be in charge of delivering a load of lumber to a job site in Kennebunk. With your seat in that chair and your feet on that desk, at that moment, you be in charge of grading a board in the planing mill at Pittsfield. With your seat in that chair and your feet on that desk, you be in charge of answering the phone and talking to a customer in our store in Windham. With your seat in that chair and your feet on that desk, you be in charge of correctly receiving in a shipment of product at our store in Brunswick. And the point I make is a point I made earlier, which is, to me, if you're paying attention, to sit in that chair is the most humbling feeling in the world because you're not in charge of anything. The people who are in charge are actually the people who are not sitting in that chair. They're the most important people in the company. And that's how I feel about our business, and I've been really lucky to be connected to a bunch of great managers and people who kind of share those values, and that's how we think about the work culture of the company. That's the work culture we try to create, and I really do feel the work culture is the most important ingredient to success, because all of our competitors can have everything we have except our people. They can buy the same trucks, same type of real estate, same type of sawmill equipment. The only thing they can't have is our people. That's our difference, and that's how we think about our organization.